There's a version of Costa Rica they sell to the world. Sunsets, yoga, surf, and that easy phrase, Pura Vida. And then there's the version you only see when you live here. Rents that double overnight, neighbors who vanish, and a quiet, relentless extraction that treats a sacred place like an ATM. This story is not about race, and it's not a hit piece on any passport. It's about class. It's about wealth without wisdom. People with money, of any nationality, colonizing with cash, refusing to learn the language, refusing to know the people, and calling it living the dream. I came here for peace, for simplicity, for truth. For years I lived quietly, worked hard, contributed and truly appreciated the locals and the culture. But over time, I watched the soul of this coast thin out. The condos got taller, the prices got cruel, the community got replaced by a rental calendar. This isn't abstract, it's personal. I manage short-term rentals for friends. Those places used to be booked solid. Now they sit empty for months. The market is overpriced, overmanaged, and underhearted. People who love this country can't afford to visit anymore. Never mind the locals who built it. I also live beside one of those sprawling condo complexes, the kind that runs on spreadsheets and slogans. Just recently, my home was invaded by an armed man in the early evening. He ran through my patio doors and into my house. A few days later, someone tried to break in again. That's what happens when a town's social fabric stretches to the breaking point. Desperation rises, trust falls, and everyone loses. Let's ground this in data. A 2025 national survey by Costa Rica's National University, UNA, found that 86.8% of Costa Ricans believe foreigners are taking over land in the coastal zones. Majorities also link this trend to rising housing prices and inflation. These aren't fringe complaints, they are the national mood. Across tourist-heavy beach communities, rents that once ran $600 to $800 now list for $1,500 to $2,500 or more. Properties are flipping from homes into vacation listings, squeezing out locals and driving long-term housing into extinction. Foreign buyers drive prices up 20% to 40% within just a few years. Let's be clear, this isn't a nationality problem, it's a wealth and ethics problem. Rich people, of any origin, are treating Costa Rica like a theme park they can buy and rebrand. Developers throw up concrete where mangroves held water. Property managers underpay labor and pocket triple in markups. New arrivals demand English menus, English speed, English service, without the respect to even try Spanish. That's not cultural exchange, that's contempt. Academic research on lifestyle migration has warned for years that even well-meaning foreigners unintentionally trigger gentrification and exclusion. Big homes, big prices, big consequences. We're living it now. When rent detaches from wages, you don't just lose apartments, you lose people. Families get pushed out, elders can't walk to clinics. Rituals vanish, culture thins. As housing flips to tourist use, the streets go quiet midweek. Local serving businesses shutter, crime rises. And when tourists finally realize they're paying top dollar for a soulless shell, they stop coming. That's already happening. I see it in the empty units I manage, and I feel it every day. Here's the cycle I keep seeing. Buy cheap land from someone pressured to sell. Build fast and generic. Container homes, glass boxes, concrete heat traps. Hire local labor cheap and keep them precarious. Flip to short-term rental at $300 to $800 a night. Outsource to a management company that marks up everything. Cleaning, maintenance, even a light bulb. Market with Pura Vida like it's a trademark, not a way of life. Repeat until the coast is gated. And in that cycle, the people who carried this coast, teachers, cooks, cleaners, fishermen, get priced out of the place they made beautiful. It all looks profitable, until the math collapses. When locals can't live near their jobs, service collapses. When every other unit is a party house, safety collapses. When the experience is hollow, demand collapses. Even investors feel it. Occupancy softens, fees rise, legal risks grow, reputations tank. The empty units I manage, they're not outliers. They're the early warning system. Trust is eroding. Hope is eroding. This place can't be both a home and a product. It's one or the other. Local businesses are trapped. They rely on tourism to survive. Telling the truth about crime, exploitation, or rising desperation could cost them everything. Less than a month ago, a 40-year-old Canadian man was shot and killed during a home invasion near Tamarindo, just one day after arriving to live the Pura Vida digital nomad dream. I know local realtors and business owners who've faced armed robberies, assaults, even been held hostage in their own homes. Do you think they're telling clients that? Of course not. That would be financial suicide. So instead, we all pretend. We smile, we post sunsets, and we privately drown. This isn't just a Costa Rica problem. It's a microcosm of something global, a spiritual sickness of greed, of worshiping profit over people. The ruling class, the greedy few, aren't just complicit. They're hiding this. Even with more money than they could ever spend, they hoard instead of help. But karma doesn't miss. This cycle will eat itself. I can feel it. Something bigger is coming, a reckoning. And I feel divinely compelled to speak before we lose everything. The problem isn't that people move here, it's when wealth behaves like a wrecking ball. Research and local reporting are clear. When housing flips to tourist use, weekday streets empty. Businesses that serve locals collapse. Resentment rises. So does crime, especially where absentee ownership is the norm. Tourism suffers when authenticity dies. People don't fly across oceans for copy and paste resort streets. They come to feel a culture, language, food, music, community. Strip that out and you get high prices, low connection, and bad reviews. And the booking's slow. I'm watching it happen. God is calling those of us with eyes to see and hearts to feel to rise, to speak, to shift the energy, to expose the darkness and bring light. What you can do. If you own or manage property here, audit your manager, demand itemized invoices. If the markups are abusive, renegotiate or replace them. Pay a living wage. If you're paying a company triple what they pay labor, you're part of the problem. Cap your nightly rates in shoulder season. Choose community over gouging. Prioritize long-term leases in part of your portfolio. Stability is a gift. Organize with other owners. Demand transparent books, fair bidding, and community standards. Put Spanish on your menus and onboarding. If you live here, learn here. Hire local, promote local. Create pathways to management. Fix water and waste before you add hot tubs. Fund shade, drainage, septic. Build community. Know your neighbors. Light paths. Support youth programs. Tell the truth. Post your real experience. Share what's happening, because if we don't, no one wins. Other countries have faced the same crossroads. Barcelona, Lisbon, Vancouver. Some clawed their way back with licensing caps, absentee taxes, density limits, and housing protections. These aren't anti-tourist policies. They're pro-resident lifelines. Costa Rica can do the same. Policy won't fix everything, but it matters. We need registration and taxation of short-term rentals, wastewater and safety compliance, incentives for long-term leases, development tied to real benefits, clinics, water, housing, parks. That's called balance. To policymakers, this is your moment to protect your people, your land, your promise. I'm not giving names or locations. I'm protecting myself. Speaking up makes you a target, but silence protects nothing anymore. So here's the bottom line. If you come here, come humbly. Learn Spanish, even badly. Pay fair wages. Price with conscience. Build for shade, not just profit. Be a guest, not a conqueror. This is not just economics, it's spiritual. You can't chant Pura Vida while exploiting the people who live it. You can't post abundance while paying poverty wages. You cannot call a place home if you refuse to honor its language and its soul. There is a cost to extraction that can't be measured in dollars. The land knows, the animals know, the children know. When we turn a community into a commodity, something sacred leaves, and it's hard to get back. This is spiritual warfare, a battle between greed and grace, and I'm choosing grace. The dream isn't broken, it's just distorted. It needs guardrails and humility. Imagine this coast with fair wages, bilingual signs, shaded sidewalks, full-time neighbors, and visitors who come for culture, not conquest. Owners who solve problems together. Kids who grow up near the sea their grandparents fished. That's the movement I'm part of. If you came for peace, live in peace. If you came for healing, stop harming. If you came for truth, speak it. Share this. Organize, learn Spanish, tip well. Pay fairly, vote wisely, choose consciously. And when someone tells you this is just the price of progress, tell them progress that erases people isn't progress at all. Paradise is not a product. It's a promise we make to each other, and we can start again, right now.